Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where we talk to authors from all over the world. Last week we had somebody from Spain, from France, from Canada. Today we started out with a guest from Latvia, so it's getting very exciting. I love talking to people from all over the world about their books. Our next guest has written an extraordinary book. Our guest is, here she is, Rebecca Miller. Welcome, Rebecca. By the way, where are you located? Where are you located right now?
I am in northern Rhode Island.
Oh, Rhode Island. That's about the furthest away from me that you can be here from California. By the way, your book is called Touch, and here's the cover. And it's a novel. It's a story. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's when people say that, it's really hard to describe. And when I ask other people to help me describe it, they're like, it's hard to describe without giving away too much. It's generally about the power of friendship and connection, and how when you have someone in your corner, it really helps you get through things, no matter how dark or deep they are.
Now, is it a love story, a romance?
It's all of the above. Yeah. It really is all of the above. It's got a little suspense, it's got thriller, it's got coming of age, it's got a love story.
Coming of age, yeah.
As for audience, all of the above.
All of the above.
15, 16 plus.
Okay. So you should be over 15 or 16.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, who shouldn't read this book? Well, people under 15 or so.
Yeah.
Now, and who is reading it? Mostly adults?
This conversation is going so many directions. It's a lot of adults are reading it. A lot of teenagers are reading it. I put this out there. Actually, I didn't put it out there. I wrote it for myself because I needed to get the story out of my head. And a couple people here and there read it. And somebody got hold of it that I didn't intend. And it ended up in the Juvenile Detention Center, a young male juvenile detention center. And the librarian there started a book club for it. And it really took off from there because I really wasn't intending on doing anything with it. So it was that moment where I was like, ooh, maybe I have something. Maybe I should actually pursue this. Yeah.
It ended up getting a life of its own, so to speak. But by the way, it was more than just the person at the Juvenile Detention Center that liked your book. Look at this. This book has so many awards. Unbelievable. Congratulations on that, Rebecca, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to just for a moment, for myself, say why this is important to me. Is there's millions of books out there, and I'm always having to pick the next book. Well, if somebody's gone before me and written a review, or somebody's noticed it, given an award, it sure helps me figure out where I could go next. But this one did very, very well with the awards. Also, before we get too far away, because I want to come back to the book, if you go to Amazon. And here's a slide. It tells you where books are rated. And this one is in number 49. Am I right?
At that point, yeah. It actually made it to 20.
Nice.
I just don't have a screenshot of it.
Okay. But yeah, that's, again, why is that important? Well, it helps us pick our next book. Hopefully watching talk shows on books helps people pick their next book as well. Now, Touch... you say it's about friendship, or what friendship could do for you or help you through things.
Well, it starts with the female main character, which is told from her point of view, lost her mother tragically a few years prior. And her father was a commissioner of police, and the mom was the one who was keeping the family together. She's basically the staple. And so everything kind of fell apart after that. She has two older brothers. And she didn't really know where to go. She lost everything that she knew after that point. And Dad all of a sudden gets a wake-up call and decides to move the family to be closer to his own brother. And this, to the main character, Megan, is kind of like throws her for a loop because she's just finally starting to get back into the groove of things. And now they have to make a cross-country move in the middle of her high school career. And she ends up meeting a kid there who has a much deeper, darker past than anybody could ever imagine. And he's, at that point, had been going it alone. And she sees something where she's the first one to ever acknowledge that something's up, and puts herself, kind of inserts herself into his life, whether he likes it or not. And it it's a transformative journey for her entire family.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's about family, it's about growing, it's about living, it's about a lot of things.
Now, where did they move from, and where did they move to?
They moved from Oregon
Mm-hmm.
to Missouri,
Wow.
which I had never, when I wrote the book, been to either. But people who live there said I got it pretty right. So.
Good. So this girl already lost her mom, and then
Yeah.
in a way she then lost everything else that was familiar to her.
Yep.
Friends in school, or her home that she probably lived in her whole life, and etc. Now, it does touch on kind of a dark topic. I hope I don't want to do any spoilers, but the boy, she meets a boy, and he kind of has something, she knew there was something dark about him, and turns out there was some maybe sex trafficking, which people don't realize there's a lot of that. People think it's just girls being sex trafficked, but there's boys too. And so does she help him figure out his life? I don't want you to take us. I don't want to spoil anything in the book.
She's definitely the start of figuring things out. Again, without giving too much away, her entire family becomes involved, and there's a lot of issues with PTSD moving forward. It's considered realistic fiction, so I don't hold much back, and it goes in a very realistic direction.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. What's the takeaway? When you're finished reading the book, you understand friendships are important? I'm putting you on the spot with all these questions. They're not my usual questions.
I know. And I have the answers. I just don't know how to say them without, yes, we all need people. Because sometimes we think we don't, or we don't want to admit that we do. But we all need other people, and we need someone in our corner. And even if things don't go great or perfectly, those friendships will rise you up to help you be the people you need to be in those certain circumstances.
Yes. Well, it's fascinating. The book sounds fascinating. It's intriguing, and you kind of leave a little mystery about it, which makes it more intriguing. By the way, your web address is on the screen, RebeccaMiller-author.com. What would our viewers, if they go to your website, what will they find there?
Well, it recently, this past month, became an audiobook. So you will find the first 3 chapters on audio.
Okay.
You will also find there's a whole bunch of group-centered questions, like book club type questions, where you can choose which group of questions is best for your group, and you can print them out for a book club. I just started a blog. I'm trying the whole blog thing with stuff to discuss the topics in this book. That's about
well, the idea that you would give some lead to book clubs, that's great. I appreciate that part. And also, for all of our authors out there, if it's an audiobook, it's more likely that I'm going to read it. I read 2 books at a time. One, we call them analogs, old-fashioned books, and then I'm reading one audiobook as well. But I get so many more audiobooks done. I'm listening at the grocery store, in the gym, midday. So thank you for doing the audiobook. Is it your voice? Do you read the book?
No. I have a hard time even reading out loud to myself, which a lot of people said when I was interviewing. I actually went on social media asking what people look for in a voice.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh, we really like when the author reads it." And like, I couldn't even read until I was older.
Yeah.
So just the idea of reading out loud, I can't. So I actually had over 80 people audition, and I think I got a good one.
Nice. Well, I've been listening.
And it is actually really excitingly, which nobody knows this, you're the very first ears to hear this. It is actually being adapted as a television pilot
Wow.
as we speak.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Now I'll start. Got to finish the book I'm on, then I'm going to go straight to your book. So, hey, everybody out there watching, join my book club. Get Rebecca's book, and we'll all read it and discuss it together. Thank you so much for coming, Rebecca. I did want to say this is you didn't learn to read till a few years later than maybe you should have, and now
Yeah.
you're a writer. That's very inspiring.
Yeah, it took a bit.
Yeah, it's a long
It took me
journey.
over 30 years to write this.
Yeah. Now we are out of time. Any last thoughts you want to say about the book or about life or anything? You say, it's your floor.
Patience, persistence, and hard work will get you anywhere you want to go.
Nice. That's
That's
it's a wonderful message. We have so many authors, so many perspective people writing books, watching our shows, and when somebody actually gets through it and overcomes adversity to get to a book done, it's always inspiring. So thank you so much. And I want you to come back, Rebecca, maybe after I finish the book.
sounds good to me.
All righty. We'll be back with more authors right after this, so please don't go anywhere.
Thank you.